So what is going on, everybody? How is everyone doing today? Daredevil 19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi VENOM. So let's get into it right away and start off with the box. So we do get a basic style box for the Amazing Yamaguchi line. We do get the window right there in the front of the box, and on the left side it says Figure Complex Amazing Yamaguchi and powered by Revoltech. Then we do get a very cool image of the Venom figure there. On the bottom it says Series number 3 Venom, and then over here it says Marvel. And then the bottom of the box has the barcode and blah 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 stuff nobody cares about. And then we do get a cool image of Venom right there, and I believe this was taken out of a comic book. And then here is the top of the box, looking pretty nice. Some nice artwork all throughout it. And then here is the one side of the box, which is probably my favorite. I really like the way that looks. And then here is the other side of the box. Another cool image of the Venom figure. And then the back of it shows a bunch of awesome poses you can get the figure into along with the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure open and take a closer look at this sick Venom. And for anybody who's curious if there's anything on the sides once you open up the box, there is. We do get some black and white artwork of Venom on the top one there, then the bottom one. Pretty cool looking. Then the other side, some more black and white artwork of Venom. Then the bottom has his logo. And then just like Spider-Man and Deadpool, we get this dope backdrop of some awesome Venom artwork. That looks sick. That's definitely going up on my wall. But anyway, continuing on. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and I think Revoltech killed it with the detail on this Venom. This thing looks incredible, and I think this is my favorite Amazing Yamaguchi figure in the line so far. And this is the Venom that I remember as a kid reading in the comics when I used to buy cards or Pogs. Even in the Sega Genesis game Maximum Carnage, I believe this was the version of Venom that you always played. So this is definitely my favorite version of Venom because this is the one that I remember as a kid growing up, and they did an excellent job with it. The head sculpt looks dope. I love the way the eyes look. The top of the head gets some nice sculpt work going on there. And we do get an interchangeable piece for the top of the head to interchange the eyes. And then probably one of my favorite parts, or maybe my favorite part about the figure, is the mouth area. The teeth look great. They're individually sculpted, and the paint's nice and clean all throughout all of them. And I love the way the gums look. They didn't just make it one pinkish color. They added like a darker red all throughout the gums, like specks of it on the top of the gums right there. It looks dope. Great detail put in around the mouth on this figure. It's even like that on the tongue, which I'll show you guys in the accessories, but that's where you insert the tongue. Right there is the peg hole, as you can see it clearly there. So very good job around the mouth. There's under it right there on the jaw. And then the neck looks dope too. We do get these sculpted symbiote veins all throughout it, and really great sculpt work on the muscle definition. It's very comic booky. And the neck isn't super long like how the Spider-Man and Deadpool is, so I do like that also. And then very nice sculpt work throughout the torso. I love the Venom spider logo. It is sculpted on there, and the paint's pretty clean on it for the most part. We do get a little bit of white paint bleeding here and there onto the blue, and if you haven't noticed, the main color of Venom's suit on the figure is a very dark blue, like a navy blue type color, and I think that looks much better compared to a black. I just love the paint that they used for that navy blue. It looks great. And then we do get these sculpted symbiote veins all throughout the torso here, so very good job with that. A few joints are a little loose on this figure. It's around the torso and then the neck joint. I don't know why they're so loose. I'm guessing because the neck and the head's really heavy and then the upper torso is really heavy. That might be why they're loose, but that's something I wanted to let you guys know about. And then the midsection piece is actually a separate floating piece, just like the Spider-Man and Deadpool. But nice sculpt work on it, as you can see there, and paint work. They have a little bit of white paint bleeding over there onto the blue. Side looks dope. And then the back looks crazy. Very nice sculpt work on the Venom logo there. And pretty clean paint work. It's similar to the Venom spider symbol on the front. A little bit of paint bleeding here and there around the legs. And this is also a separate piece here. And it's just to help you articulate the arm a little more. But if you go too far forward, there's no more sculpt there. So, I mean, it really doesn't bother me that much because I think they put it on there far enough. And then if you haven't noticed, we do get 5 different peg holes. 2 here, and then 1 there. That one's meant for the stand. And then the 2 on this side and this side are meant for his accessories, which are the symbiote tentacles, which I'll show you guys shortly. But we do get some very nice sculpt work all throughout the back of the figure, the sculpted veins, and then we do get some nice sculpt work on the muscle definition as well, so very good job with that. And then the arms look dope too. We get some pieces of symbiote just hanging off his arm right there on the tricep, We get more of the sculpted symbiote veins all throughout the upper arm and then the lower arm as well. Some more of the symbiote hanging out. It looks crazy, actually. This figure looks dope. And then the hands look awesome too. Very nice job with those. We do get the articulated fingers. The pinky and the ring finger are molded together. The middle finger, pointer finger, and thumb are all individually articulated. And then we do get his long fingernails there, or venomy claws. Now for the legs here, they did a great job with them as well. Very nice sculpt work all throughout the legs. We do get the symbiote veins sculpted all throughout the legs as well. There's the back of them. And if you notice, there's really no sculpt work here, but that is to sacrifice the knee articulation so you get more movement out of it, which I do like that they did that. And if you know Revoltech, they do sacrifice a lot of sculpt for articulation, so it's not like a big surprise or anything. The lower legs look good. And we do get the feet here. Very nice sculpt on them as well. And then we do kind of get some toe claws also. And then the bottom of the feet, not much going on there. But overall, I think they did an outstanding job with the paint and sculpt on this Venom. The detail just looks incredible on it, and I can't be any more happier with how the detail looks on this figure. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we get a decent amount of stuff included with this Venom. So we do get a Revoltech stand here, which comes in 3 parts. We have the clamp, the base, and the arm, and the way you put it together, just peg the arm into the base there like that, then peg the clamp into the top of the arm, and then there you go, as simple as that. And it is articulated, swivels at the bottom, hinges at the bottom, hinges in the middle, hinges at the top, and then the clamp is articulated as well. So you can either clamp it onto Venom or you could peg it into the back of Venom as well. In this stand, it's really hard to hold up Venom because of how heavy he is. I mean, it can be done, but it can get annoying as well. So we do get the stand, and then we also get 2 sets of interchangeable eyes. So we do get the one on the left that comes on the figure out of the packaging, which is the regular set of eyes. Then we do get this one on the right, where his right eye is more squinted and the left eye is more open. And the way you interchange them is fairly simple. So you just peg them on like that and then just pull up to pop them off. So it's pretty easy to do it, but they don't really stay on the greatest, and sometimes when you're articulating the figure, it pops off a lot, so that gets a bit irritating. But other than that, they're fairly simple to interchange, and it is cool that we have the option of interchanging the eyes for Venom. So we do get those, and then we also get an extra double ball hinge for his lower neck joint, so in case yours breaks, you do have a spare. And I really like when figure companies include extra joints with their figures, so that's a big plus right there for Revoltech. And then we also get Venom's tongue, and they did an excellent job with the detail on this. The sculpt looks great and the paint looks awesome on it. It's not just one pink color, you do see specks of red paint put all throughout the tongue, and all those dots are all sculpted on there as well. And I do like how it's glossy, so it gives it like a slimy type look. And it does have a ball hinge on it, so it is articulated. And where you put this is right there in the back of Venom's mouth. Just peg that in like so, and then there you go, you got Venom with his tongue. So we do get that. And then we also get 4 of his symbiote tentacles. So we do get the 2 smaller ones here, and they did an excellent job sculpting and painting these. The tiny sculpt detail throughout all of these just really look great. And then the added silver paint on the sharp edges looks so dope on these. Very good job on all 4 of these tentacles. Then we do have the joints in the middle, so they can hinge back and forth, and they can also swivel, so I do like that. And then we get joints on the other end that you could either connect into his wrist or on the back of the figure, which I will show you shortly. So we get the 2 smaller ones, and then we do get the 2 larger ones, which are my favorite out of all 4 of them. And they look more like symbiote type hands, and they did a beautiful job sculpting and painting these ones also. The added silver paint on the sharp edges just looks so damn cool. Really great job on these. Then we do get the joints in the middle here, and they do hinge back and forth and also swivel. Then we get the joints at the other end, and like I said, you could either put it on his wrist joint or on the back of the figure. So if you want to connect it to his arm, you have to take his hand off with the joint, so make sure you take both of them off like so. And then you take the symbiote piece and just peg it into the wrist here. And then there you go. That just looks sick. I love that option that they gave you. That looks so awesome. Or you can put it in the back of Venom, because we do get 2 peg holes on the top and then 2 on the bottom. So if you want to peg them into the bottom, the peg hole is actually on an angle, so you got to put it in on an angle like so. But the ones on the top, you just peg in directly just like that, and then since they're on joints, they can swivel and hinge back and forth. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with this Symbiote freak. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? And also, forgot to mention this because I just noticed it, but on the larger Symbiote tentacles, there's actually another peg insert right there. So I do have one on them already, so you could take maybe one of the smaller ones, do something like that, or you can unpeg it at the middle part and just peg this piece in, or you could take the larger one, peg that in like that, or you could unpeg it from the center and then peg it in like that, so then it looks like a larger like Symbiote claw coming at you. I thought that was really cool and had to mention it in my review. But anyway, continuing on. Now for the height of Venom to the top of his head, it looks like he stands around 6.5 inches tall. And then here he is compared to the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Spider-Man and the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool. And then here he is compared to the Good Smile Company Figma Avengers Hulk, the SH Figuarts Civil War Captain America, the SH Figuarts Mark 42, and the Comic Cave Studios Mark 38 Igor. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Punisher. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review! So now for the articulation, we get some pretty damn good movement with this Venom, as to be expected for Revoltech. So we do get a point of articulation at the lower neck, at the top of the head, at the jaw, and at the tongue. So the lower neck is on a double ball hinge, so you get some pretty good movement out of it. It goes down about that much, and then up about that much. So pretty good forward and back movement with the lower neck. Then it does swivel, so nice movement there. Now the top of the head is articulated. It can click up and down 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So it can go up and down 3 clicks. And then the jaw here, you can hinge it up and down a little bit, and then it does pivot, as you can see. And then the tongue is on a ball hinge, so you can swivel and then hinge up and down as well. So pretty good movement throughout the mouth and the neck there. Now we do get one joint at the torso. I think it can click forward and back a total of 8 times, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he crunches forward a really good amount, and then going back, he just pretty much is standing straight up, and then it does swivel there as well. Now for the arms, like I said, these pieces, they can swivel forward about that much, and then back about that much. And the shoulder joint, Venom's arms can pretty much go all the way up, so that's great. And then it swivels a tiny bit where the joint connects into the torso, and then it swivels right here where it connects into the shoulder, so that's kind of like bicep swivel there. Then we have a joint at the elbow that bends in pretty much all the way, so nice movement there. Then it does swivel where it connects into the bicep and where it connects into the forearm. Now for the wrists, they're on a ball hinge, so they do swivel, and they hinge back and forth. And then the fingers are articulated, they can hinge up and down, and then same with the thumb. And then they do swivel. Well, actually the thumb does. The rest of the fingers do not swivel. They just hinge up and down. The thumb is on a ball hinge, so you can get it to swivel and hinge up and down. Now for the legs here, the joint right here at the hip can get Venom to kick forward about 90 degrees, and then goes to the back, a tiny bit, and then they don't kick out to the side. This joint here at the thigh actually does that. So he kicks out to the side about 45 degrees, which isn't too bad. And then it does swivel a tiny bit at that joint, and you can get it to go back and forth as well, and then it can pivot also, as you can see there. So you get some decent movement around the hip and the thigh there. Now for the knees, they are a single joint that bends back a little more than 90 degrees, so that's good. And then the ankles, they do swivel, and then they hinge up pretty good amount, they hinge down a really good amount, and then we get some excellent pivot there, very nice pivot. And then we do get the toe articulation. So overall, I think we get some great movement with this Venom, but like I said, it's to be expected when it comes to Revoltech. They always outdo themselves when it comes to articulation, and you're going to be able to get this Venom in some really great poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Venom. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I believe my buddy from Agelessgeeks did just get this in stock. Not sure if he has it on the website yet, but once he does put it up there, you can get it from there. And when you purchase something from there, don't forget to enter in codename Daredevil to get yourself a 5% off discount. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. And on the left side says Figure Complex Amazing Yamaguchi powered by Revoltech. Shit. And then on the bottom says Series number 3 Venom, and then on the bottom and then the bottom of the box has the barcode and blah 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 stuff. We do get a cool little image of Venom right there, kind of like a comic book. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and whoopsie, almost fell. So we do get a Revoltech stand, and it does come in 3 parts. We have the clamp, the base, and then the arm, and an extra double ball joint, and this is for the lower neck joint, so in case you're man. The SH Figure Arts Age of Whoops. Just peg it in right there and do something like that, or you can, whoops, Venom fell.